Truth be told, Mali,
Yes.
many Kenyan families are one hospital bill away from total financial ruin and bankruptcy.
Oh, that is actually very true. And it shouldn't be, though. Shouldn't be. Most of us are exposed to one situation and that's it. And we lose what we knew as the fragment of our financial status. So it shouldn't be so. It's a sad one, but it
Yes.
shouldn't be. And I
Yes.
think we do have the solutions for that.
Yes.
So what are we discussing today?
Welcome, people, to today's special episode, proudly sponsored by the Association of Kenya Insurers. So today we'll be putting a spotlight on medical insurance. Welcome to today's episode. My name is Charlene Kimara. You may call me Mama Bima Kenya.
Male Mtoto Mwanza. Karibu to the Truth Be Told podcast.
Yes, and tell me, Mali.
Yes.
Whom do we have on set today?
So today,
Yes.
back on set,
Yes.
Mr. William Kiama,
Yes.
who is the manager for general insurance at the AKI offices,
Yes.
Association of Kenya Insurers.
Yes.
And Mr. Kiama is back because the last time we had him on this seat, hey,
He dropped gems.
he dropped gems.
It was a whole masterclass on motor insurance.
On motor insurance.
Yes.
I was also learning
Yes.
in many ways. And so for that reason, Bwana Kiama, tumesema, you come back.
Yes.
And then we talk about medical insurance. We
Yes.
addressed motor insurance the last time. I think it will be important to address this topic called medical insurance. Karibu sana.
Thank you for
Word to
having
the
me
viewers.
back.
Yes.
Thank you for having me back. My name is Kiama William
Yeah.
Yes.
from the Association of Kenya Insurers. I'm in charge of general insurance business at the association.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So to start with, you are in charge of general insurance and medical is within general insurance.
Yeah, medical is within general insurance.
Yes.
We have two classes of insurance.
Yes.
We have long-term insurance, which is normally referred to as life insurance, and then we have short-term insurance, which is normally referred to as general insurance. So under the general insurance, then we have that particular class. We have like 14 classes under general insurance, and medical is one of the classes under general insurance.
Wow.
So short term, long term.
Yes.
In this case, medical is short term because it's an annual cover.
Yeah, as the name suggests, yes,
Yeah.
the general insurance classes are for a period not exceeding 1 year. Life insurance or long term, on the other hand, those are policies for a long time, many
Yes.
years. You see policies running for 10 years, 20 years, that kind of period.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start. We consider medical insurance to be for the wealthy. Is that a correct myth?
No, that is
Yes.
not true. Medical is important for everyone.
Yes.
And medical products are available in this market for even the lower end market. You have seen people. We have seen people partnering with circles. We have seen people partnering with the chamas and getting medical insurance for their members.
Yes.
So we have products designed particularly for the low end market, and we have products then designed for the high end market. So it depends on the kind of cover that you want to take. But the medical insurance product is not for the rich. It is actually for everybody, and it is
Yes.
important for everybody.
Yeah.
Those in the lower pyramid. If you are to do a harambe, for example, medical insurance is like a harambe.
Yes.
Because you see, like, if people in the lower pyramid, they call a harambe, the contributions are low
Yeah.
in that harambe. Those people in the high-end pyramid, when they call a harambe, the contributions are quite high. So we have those types of products available in the market, and that's why we have the micro insurance products, for example, micro health products is becoming very popular nowadays in this market, and that is designed for the low-end market. And we have seen an increase in uptake of those products.
Okay. And, I think that's a very good way of starting this episode. To remind people, by the way, the products that are currently in the market cater for different pockets abilities. The budget that you have, there's a solution for you. And it does not even just have to be a group solution.
Yes.
Ati with your chama, with your circle, those are available. But even individuals, like if you're going to buy even as an individual, there are affordable solutions in the market. And I think I would say that if you value your health and you have an income and possibly you can afford, it's good to go and source for a cover for yourself, because then you are saying that my health is an asset.
Yes.
Do you get? Because but good health is everything. We can agree, Mali.
Yes.
Once you are not feeling well, we can barely even show up for this kind of shoot. You get. But if you're in good health, if you start feeling, some symptoms start to check in, just a peace of mind when you know that I have my medical insurance policy, I can walk into a facility and get quality care. Yes, it's everything.
It's important.
Yes.
Somebody was trying to do the arithmetic of the value of the human, of the person in you. And they were trying to look at how, when you hear that kidneys are being sold, what is the value of one kidney? Then how many kidneys do you have?
Yes.
What is the value of the heart?
Yes.
So that is the seriousness that people should take medical insurance with.
I'm wondering how did we, what was the
What
math
value?
there? What was the value?
No, they were trying to say what is the kind of value of a human.
Yes.
And when you look at those numbers, when you added those numbers, slowly by slowly we found that it was billions and billions.
Thank you.
So if you are not taking care of your billions, then you are not real to yourself.
If there's something I've always told myself, like if you've gone, say, for a dental consultation and you tried to inquire, possibly if a tooth was to be removed and you were to be fixed like a permanent tooth, oh my Lord, it is so expensive. But then you really say, this body is actually full of gold. God really did his bit. We every other part is very costly if you put it in monetary terms. So if the least that we can do is take care of this body, and one way of doing that is getting medical insurance.
Correct.
And the point of this arithmetic is not so that once kwenda kuuza your
tooth
body
by
parts.
Yes.
No, it's just to show the value,
Yes.
of this of the what we call the human body. Now, we are already spending money as Kenyans. We talked about every family being a hospital bill away from poverty. We are already spending money. Statistics in 2023 had it that we spent over 150 billion out of pocket.
In hospital?
Not insurance.
Yes.
In hospital treatment.
Ooh.
And this is what was recorded. A lot of us tuliingia pharmacy ukapata panadol ukatoka.
Yes.
So if we are able to spend 150 billion, and 2024 numbers will probably go higher.
Yes.
And this year even more, it means we are going to the hospital. Again, we go back to, we've had this conversation. It's not if bad things happen.
Yes.
It is when.
When.
Because they will happen.
Yes.
As much as our body was created very well, it will break down at some point here and now. And we need to be prepared. So, Mr. Kiama, if someone is buying a medical insurance or wants to buy a medical insurance for the first time, what are the key things they should look out for?
Okay, when you want to buy medical insurance, you have to look at there's some things that you need to really look at. Number one, what kind of budget do you have? Because budget really matters a lot in terms of the kind of cover that you are going to get. How the cover is structured, for example, there's what we call the inpatient cover, and then there's an outpatient cover, depending on the limit. Now, you may want to say, I want to have a cover for 500,000. Another person will say, I want to have a cover for 1 million. Another person, 10 million. So based on your budget, so those are the kind of limits that you will get. Now, you also need to look at the kind of facilities that you would like to visit, because those cover limits goes with some certain facilities. So you will not get a cover of, like, for example, 50,000, and then you say, I want to see the high-end hospitals in my list, because that will not make any sense. So what you need to do is you again need to look at the kind of facilities you want to visit, and now the budget mostly. You also need to look at other things, like what is the coverage like, what exclusions do we have in this kind of cover. Those are the key important things that you need to look at.
Okay. Like I was speaking, and I love that bit on the budget. I was before we went on air, I was speaking with a lady, and she told me so she's seeking medical insurance quotes for her mom, and this coming week, they are going for a surgery, cataract. And she's told me out of what SHA will be covering, she will be footing 70,000 out of pocket. And she was basically telling me, I want to plan so that by the end of the year, I'm able to get a cover for my mom so that in future, such costs don't catch me, off guard. Because at this point, she's made peace that 70K is getting out of the pocket just like that. And when we were discussing the options, I was telling her, even you can start with a basic inpatient only cover, because she told me her mom is very healthy, no chronic illnesses, no pre-existing illness at all. You get. So other than now, like the eye issue. So I think it's good for people to understand there's a policy for you. There's a policy for you at your budget.
Yeah.
The most important thing is sit down with your agent and express yourself clearly, so that you get to see, maybe you may be able to stretch a little bit here and there. But if, for example, in this case, if this lady already had this policy, by the way, if she already had even an inpatient only cover in this case, that 70K would have been guarded. So if it was in her money market fund, haingetoka, you get. But now, in the absence of medical insurance, now you find we have to dig much deeper into our pockets. We have to liquidate our investments. If you had a bond, you'll find yourself having to sell it to cater for such costs. Yes. So insurance again, the key purpose of insurance, that insurance wrapper that you put around your wealth is there to ensure that when the insured risk happens, you do not have to part with the money and the wealth that you've already built.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think it's important. We cannot overemphasize the need, because who are 70,000 lying around?
Yes.
Waiting. Ukipigiwa simu unaanza kutafuta.
Yes.
But you talked about harambe and how it's a form of harambe, and it has worked, and we've addressed this, Charlene, in previous episodes, where harambe has come to the rescue. You have a need, and very quickly you marshal up a few relatives and friends, and you are sorted. But this is a better way of doing it, making sure that you're well covered. Now, you said budget and then benefits or limits that you're looking for. Are the products standard across the market?
Not quite. The products are not standard. The products are designed based on the needs of the community. So if you have, for example, you want, there are those people who will craft their own policy and say, this is the kind of coverage that I need. Can you come up with a product and the charges for this kind of a product? So that is what the market will do. They will respond by telling you, so if you want this extension, then you'll need to cough a bit more. Okay, if you want this policy like this, then we will need to remove something from here and put it elsewhere. So the policy will basically depend on the kind of benefits that you need. There are those people, for example, as she has said, there's somebody who will come and say, I will be able to cover my outpatient costs. So all that I need is only inpatient, and you'll be able to get that cover. The only difficulty you might have is to say, I want only outpatient cover. I don't want inpatient. That one you might find it difficult.
Yes.
So sometimes there comes in some kind of illnesses that you are not able to draw a line properly, then and also looking at the exposure, the outpatient sometimes is more, there's higher exposure than inpatient. So you hear somebody trying to say, no, you need to combine these covers rather than taking on the outpatient. But inpatient, you can always get it on its own.
I'd want us to go into a small quick fire right now, because there are many terms. There are so many terms, terminologies in the medical insurance space. So maybe you can indulge me. What does an exclusion mean?
An exclusion means exactly that. Something that is not, something that is excluded, or something that is not covered. And that is what we call an exclusion.
Yeah.
So you get somebody trying to put in a policy, and then they will say, okay, so I know you have come into this cover, and I know and I know you have this kind of illness. So maybe I will exclude XYZ because I know the severity of that illness. Or if you want me to cover it, then you need to add this kind of money so that then I'm able to cover that. So that is the kind of flexibility that we have. But an exclusion is that which is not covered under that policy.
And on that bit of exclusion, Mr. Kiama, there's one exclusion that still breaks my heart even as an agent. Why is self-harm, up to this point, suicide, why is it still an exclusion in medical insurance policies in our country? At a point where we are starting, we are starting to appreciate that this has a direct correlation with mental health deterioration. So it is an illness just like any other. It may lead to self-harm. Why are we maybe foreseeing a point where the industry may sit down and say that now we will cover this in full?
Yeah, the scenario is actually changing. The market is actually changing and responding to that.
Yes.
As we have talked about the mental health, it is being seen now. Like things like suicide.
Yes.
Previously, you would find somebody saying, "If it is suicide, we are not getting in anywhere."
Yes.
But then these days, you are seeing the market adapting to those kind of things, or that thinking
Yes.
that this must have been a mental problem, and so somebody tried to commit suicide. They did not manage, so they are in hospital. Are we going to pay for that? These days, we are paying for that, and this is because we have realized that mental illness is a real problem in this country.
So I have seen that negotiated, especially within group covers, but from the side of individuals, standalone, like individual covers, family covers, tunakutuma as the association.
Yeah.
If you could just maybe lobby the industry a little bit more, because I think this is a mainstream illness. Is it mainstream? This is an illness just like any other, and I feel that it would be good to move with the times and really come to the understanding that that shouldn't be an illness in an exclusion in 2025. But also, other than that, what are some other maybe exclusions that we may find in a medical insurance policy?
And are they standard?
Yes, but are these exclusions standard from one insurance company to the other?
The exclusions are not standard per se,
Yes.
and as I have said, there are many exclusions that you'll find that you can buy back into the policy, but there are those that you cannot buy back at all.
Yes.
For example, you will find treatment by a mitishamba doctor.
Yes.
You see, if you go to a mitishamba doctor, then you come to claim under the policy will never entertain that, and you cannot buy that back at all. You'll find other people excluding the pre-existing conditions or limiting the scope of cover. For example, if you have a cover, inpatient cover of like 2 million, then I would say because of the pre-existing conditions, and we know these are going to be long term.
Yes.
We will cover up to a limit of 1 million.
Yes.
If you want it to go up, then you need to add some premium for it to go up.
Yes.
So most of these exclusions, you find them that you can buy them back after some additional premium.
Yes. And but the one exclusion that I've been really coming across and many Kenyans are currently inquiring about is like treatment for weight loss. Okay, so right now there are many sort of like medicines in the market, say semaglutide, Ozempic, and you find those are definitely exclusions in pretty much. I've not come across any medical insurance policy that will actually cover for that, unless this was being administered maybe for the purposes of treating diabetes and so on. Now, an actual chronic illness. Okay, I think that's a good understanding of an exclusion in a policy.
Yeah. You mentioned pre-existing.
Yes.
What is pre-existing? Because that's a hot topic in this industry of ours called medical insurance.
Yes.
There has been a lot of confusion regarding pre-existing conditions, and you have seen a number of complaints, people lodging complaints that I didn't know that this is the pre-existing. At what time did you establish that this was pre-existing? This is a condition that probably, for example, if you have, for example, we can talk about diabetes. We know this is a diabetic person, and we came to know that last year. So when it has not been discovered, you should put on full cover. But when it is discovered now, come next year, they will say no, we cannot, since now it has been discovered. So this is a condition that you will live with, we are going to limit the
Yes,
cover, and this
yes.
is because we have now realized that it is existing.
Yes.
So pre-existing condition is a condition that you come into with the cover.
Yes.
And we know you have it. It is a condition that cannot be treated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when we talk of pre-existing illnesses, I see a lot of Kenyans really struggle with this at the point of buying a cover because, for example, a diagnosis has been made and now you want to come and buy a cover now, and start utilizing that cover now. And when they come across what is called a waiting period, hey, fire starts. Oh, you insurance companies are unfair. Then why am I buying the insurance policy in the first place? Please tell us, what are these waiting periods, especially around pre-existing illnesses or chronic illnesses, and why are they there in a policy?
Okay, waiting period is a period that you will wait
Yes.
before you receive service from an insurance cover. Or a period that you will wait before your policy responds. So when you take a cover, for example, you have not been insured elsewhere, it is the time you are new into this, it is your first time to propose a medical cover.
Yes.
It is very likely that you get a cover with a waiting period.
Yes.
Because we do not know why you have come. Maybe you have come because you have realized, oh, I have condition X, Y, and I need to go into treatment.
Yes.
We have seen people do that. Somebody knows now I've been told I need to go through an operation.
Yes.
So the best thing I will do is to go and take a cover,
Yes.
and then after that, after I go through my operation, I really don't need insurance. After I do
Drop
with
it.
my operation, once
Dump.
they pay, then I will drop out.
Or you
So-
discover your partner is expectant.
Yeah, that also has actually been a lot of. There has been a lot of that.
Yeah.
Somebody is
Yes.
expectant, then they go and take a cover, and they are insisting, I need to have a maternity benefit in this cover. And very well they know. Insurance is about something that you don't know. But
Yes.
this one we know very well that you are going to deliver, and you are saying, can I then be covered for this delivery?
Yeah.
Insurance doesn't work like that because this is certain.
Yes.
It goes with uncertainty.
Yes.
Something that is not there. Yeah, so that waiting period then gives the insurer some time to understand this person,
Yes.
to just let things bring themselves out.
Yes.
If there was something that made you come quickly running to take the cover,
Yeah.
then we'll be able to pick it up from there.
So it's also
only fair.
Yeah.
It's only fair to have that waiting period. But
Yes.
if you have come from another cover,
Yes.
and we are able to establish that,
Yes.
then you are able to negotiate for no waiting period.
Yes.
Because you have been known, and we know you actually had cover is a continuous thing that you're continuing with a medical cover.
Yes. And also it's also a way or a mechanism also for insurers to also protect themselves. Otherwise, they'd just be in the business of paying claims from the word go.
Making losses.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on average, you'll find the first waiting period you'll encounter is 1 month waiting period from the point where you take a policy, especially for individual policies. Then after 1 month, you can now start to seek treatment. And this is treatment for acute illnesses. Then some, depending on which insurer. And by this information, I'll tell you, this information is usually out there. When you're buying a cover, you'll be given, say, a brochure by your agent. The very last page, you will find a list of the waiting periods. You'll get a list of the exclusions on that policy. And they're bulleted, very easy just to go through. You may find like now the waiting period of a chronic illness or a pre-existing illness on average in the market is about 1 year. So, and this is because you tell families that there's a waiting period for the pre-existing illness for 1 year, and they decide we will not even buy.
Because I'm not going to use it this year.
But next year, you see, if already a chronic ailment has set in, this means you'll probably be managing this chronic ailment for many
Not
years.
probably, for
Yes.
life.
Please
If it's
see
a
the
chronic-
long-term
If it's a
picture.
chronic issue, it will be for life.
Yes.
If it's diabetes, it's not going anywhere.
Yes.
You will probably manage it to lower levels, but it will be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel that a lot of people almost approach insurance from a point of I want to use a band-aid.
If I can't use it, I will not
Now,
take it.
yes. But I think if you see the bigger picture, insurance pays when you serve that waiting period. Then you go into benefit, like you really reap the rewards of being insured.
I'll be quick to add that that these wrong waiting periods
Yes.
are normally for the elderly, those ones who are over 60 and above.
Yes.
Those kind of policies, products are the ones that you find with these wrong waiting periods.
Yes.
But otherwise, these other policies have got a very short waiting period.
Yes.
We want to run you and understand you quickly, and then you can go into benefiting into the your policy.
Yes. Okay.
Hey, now you say the older you are,
The riskier.
riskier.
Yes.
The riskier you are in terms of getting ill.
But you know, some would argue that the wazes, they know their problems. So they're able to manage them well. It is the young people who don't know and they show up with strange...
I'll argue with Mr. Kiama.
strange issues.
No, data is showing us, I think younger people are relatively healthy.
Healthier.
Healthier. And it's true. Seniors medical insurance, you'll even see from the utilization. And I know you know that, even of clients, just from utilization, in most cases, even just one hospitalization will easily wipe out the entire, inpatient benefit. But for younger people, when was the last time you were in hospital? Have you ever been hospitalized? Let's start from there.
I have.
Oh, you have?
Not many times, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I have been hospitalized. I do think, though, that we need to advocate, and even from an association of Kenya insurers, is that we start early, so that then I don't take a cover when I'm 60, because then I am seen as that huge risk. But if I take it when I'm 40 and I stay with it, then ideally it should actually get cheaper as I go along, because I'm able to manage my health and things like that. But in our situation, we are taking a cover at 65 and we start the risk at that time. Is that what influences the cost?
Yeah, especially when you are starting, when you are elderly, then the age is one of the key rating factors that we have, because as you said, the statistics shows that those elderly people, more often than not, will be in hospital, in out of the hospital. So that's what the statistics show, that the claims under that from that age then are normally very high. So you will see, like, if you are a continuing person, you will see them covering you up to the age 70, but then under the normal conditions. But then if you are starting taking the cover when you are 65 and you are coming like a new entrant in the market, then you find quite a bit of stringent conditions.
Okay.
Hata kama ni wewe ungeuliza ni hizo siku zote, where are you? Is it the time you have realized
Yes.
that you needed to have
maybe ndivyo pesa yangu imeingiana.
Pension.
After
working many years.
Hapana, umerealize you are spending so much in hospital, so you need somebody to start footing your bills.
Yes. No. One of the beliefs that a lot of people probably have is, when I buy a medical cover, now naweza ingia any hospital, naweza ingia Nairobi hospital, naweza ingia Avenue, but there's something called a hospital panel. What would you advise, like, Kenyans in general who are looking to buy a medical insurance policy? How then do they know which hospital or maybe which specialists they can see?
Yeah, as you have rightly put it, we do have what we call the panel of doctors. We have panel of hospitals that you can visit, and this is determined by the level of cover that you have.
Yes.
For example, if you had a cover of 50,000, for example, and you want to start visiting the high-end hospitals, within 2 weeks or within 1 month or 2 months, your cover will be exhausted, and therefore you are left exposed without any form of cover. And that is where you need a lot of education in terms of telling these people, telling your customers, our customers, that then if your cover is this limit, try to limit yourselves to the hospital, this class of hospitals. And if you are not, for example, we have hospitals charging consultation fee like 500 shillings.
Yes.
Then when you go to the high-end hospitals, consultation is 5,000 shillings.
Yes.
So 5,000, when you visit a hospital 10 times, your cover 50,000 is gone.
Yes.
But when you're going for that 500,
Yes.
you'll be able to visit many times.
Yes.
And your cover will take you for the year, even
Yes.
without exhausting it.
Yeah.
But if you went to the high end, then 2 months you don't have cover.
True.
You're exposed, and then you have been telling people out there that I'm insured, and then they're seeing you paying money, and they'll be asking, what kind of insurance do you have?
Yes.
So sometimes we even encourage them, if you have a public hospital nearby, when things are not that serious,
Yes.
you can even visit the public hospital so as to manage your cover, not
Yes.
to get exhausted before you before the end of the period.
Yes, and I think one of the things that a lot of Kenyans don't have sight of. So yes, I have my 50,000 outpatient, and it's ending in December. It is now October. I want to utilize it to the very last coin, not realizing there's something called loading of premiums. And they get so angry when they hear that premiums have been loaded. And they don't realize that insurance companies also track the utilization or the loss ratios they are making, on these policies. So I keep saying, I think we need to really get to a point where we are using our insurance policies, and especially medical insurance policies, responsibly. Because you can imagine, if every other year, especially, if your premium is being loaded every other year, you'll probably, 5 years in, you'll be paying the premiums that people who are maybe 10 years, 20 years older than you are paying. Okay? But I genuinely feel that I love that thinking around, if I'm on a 50,000, for example, outpatient benefit, the goal is I should also look at how can this benefit be more elastic? If I can access a facility where consultation is 1,000 bob, because 50,000 will not even give you, in a high-end hospital, it will not give you 10 visits, because you do the consultation, you're sent to the pharmacy. So one visit, 18,000. So you're left with 2 more visits, possibly, and that benefit is depleted. And midway, you start feeling, and remember, you cannot add on to your benefits midway during the policy term. You have to wait until the full year ends for you to possibly now come and renew the policy and ask for higher limits. But the truth is, if you go for those higher limits and the loss ratio was already high, you're buying that cover at a premium again. So all the time, your cover is becoming more and more expensive. So I believe maybe it's just a rallying call to Kenyans in general. When we get these medical insurance policies, we use them responsibly.
Very, very important, yes.
Yes.
But unajua ninasema, I have worked hard,
Yes.
Charlene. I have earned money. I have paid for this medical insurance.
You shall be loaded.
Kitu wacha tuitumie.
Loading is coming. Iko pale.
Na hii loading nini? Loading unaanza sasa
Let me tell
jargon.
you,
What is loading?
Unajua loading ni nini?
Yes.
Now, I started out my policy. Let's say I'm on a budget policy.
Yeah.
And because I'm below 40 years, there's a good budget plan. Maybe if I have like 500,000 inpatient, 50,000 outpatient in the market, I'm paying about 24,000 and something. Let's call it 25,000. Sasa mimi nimeenda, nikamaliza the whole 50,000, outpatient. And possibly, maybe there was even one hospitalization. So about 200,000 maybe was paid out of the inpatient. At the point that the insurance company is renewing my cover, they are looking and saying, hey, Charlene spent 250,000, during this year. And how much did she pay us? 25,000. My terms of renewing this policy will not be the same as the person who possibly just used their cover. Maybe there was no inpatient claim, and maybe they went for 2-3 visits and possibly utilized 20,000 in the year. So what you find is now there's a percentage of premium that's added onto your cover year on year, and with time it can really run away. In the market, I have seen a loading of 75%. I've seen over 100%. Okay, and most of them, I must tell you, families even appreciate. By the time you are seeing that kind of loading, it's probably coming from a point of the insurance company paid 700,000. You guys, it paid that year. I would have been 700,000 out.
Yeah.
You get, and and that's it. Medical insurance really comes in when things are tight. But in these other instances where we can possibly manage just a little bit, I think it just calls for us to do so.
And I can't go to another insurance company.
Hey.
You told me I go to another insurance company.
No, you can.
Yes.
There's no prohibition of going to another insurance company. You
Yes.
can. But then they also try to look at your history.
Yes.
Yes, before they onboard you, especially when you are coming from company X.
Yeah.
And we know you have probably it's the cover you have exhausted very quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then we should also be a bit cautious in terms of underwriting, checking about your background. Be able
And
to-
maybe they may not know, but you know what? Unakumbuka ile waiting period. Unaanza kuambiwa 1 year.
Tunaanza tena.
Tunaanza afresh. You see,
I hear
will
you.
you be starting afresh all the time?
No.
And speaking of which, Mr. Kiama, do you think maybe we'll get to a point where, like right now, when you think of motor insurance, there's shared database across the entire industry, so you cannot quote unquote like double insure, or even maybe the insurer that you're getting. If you're taking an insurance policy with a particular insurer, they can possibly see your history.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you think we'll ever get there with medical insurance? Is it something that you're working on?
Yes, we will get there. We will get there sooner than later.
Yes.
Because if we look at what the government is doing, the
Yes.
government is coming up with a super highway. They're calling it data super highway for medical.
Yes.
And that is what we expect to see. Any doctor, for example, if you are treated, you see the kind of practice that we have now. You go and see a doctor here. Doctor sends you to the lab, you do so many tests, and then tomorrow you are in Nyeri.
There's no records.
You don't have any records at
Yeah.
all. So we're going to have a central repository. That is what the government is working on.
Yes.
A central repository, so that if you go and see that doctor in Kisumu, then the doctor will be able to read the results that were tested in Nairobi a while later. So when we get there, we are likely to see even the cost of medical reducing with a very high margin.
Yes.
Because those repeat tests,
Yes.
because you've gone to a doctor, that doctor has never seen you at
Anaanza
all.
tena.
Yes.
Anaanza tena sasa,
Yes.
saying, and you didn't know that you get sick, so you have not carried your earlier results. Yes. And then there are also those who will say, no, those tests were not done by a machine that I know, so I want to conduct my tests using a machine that I know that it will be exact.
Yes.
Tuko na zetu, we have ours
And
here.
ours are precise. Our machines are very precise.
Yes.
So I don't know that machine that conducted this test, so it might have given wrong results.
Yeah.
So I want to do again. So they do again.
And validly so, a doctor can actually they are valid in contesting results from other sources, because we don't have a uniform, as you said, the database is not there. We don't have a standard way of doing things. So even if I was a doctor, I would be like, okay, let me start on you with my own set of opinions and thoughts.
Mali.
So, yeah.
Run that medical insurance card.
Haraka sana tumalize.
Yes.
Hii cover, kwanza ule akona cover, those are the ones we want. We want to harvest.
Yes, but now you've heard data superhighway is on the way. It's coming sooner than later.
Tumefikiwa.
Yes.
I
So I
like
think
that.
this thing of possibly jumping from one underwriter to the other, it's not advisable. I think if we are just disciplined, of course, you can have more than one insurance cover if you wish so, and if your budget allows. But let's just be diligent in how we use our medical insurance responsibly.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, but as we discussed, we found that you don't have a value in terms of the person.
Yes.
Because we said those values are many billions of the person. Likewise, that's why you see like the policies relating to the person.
Yes.
For example, life insurance policy, a medical insurance policy, or a personal accident insurance policy. You can take as many insurance companies as possible, and you can be compensated by them at the same time, because they relate to the life. We cannot value human life, and that is why that is why it is allowed. You can take as many process policies as possible.
Okay.
And that's very important, like it's not like a motor vehicle lenye unaambiwa this one is valued at 1.5 million.
Yes, yeah.
No, with these other policies, like life insurance, if you can afford to pay the premium, and possibly do your financial questionnaire and justify having a 200 million cover, if anything happens, or even if they were split amongst different policies, 50 here, 20 there, all of them will be paid. That's a very good point, Mr. Kiama. Thank you.
If we went back to your jargon,
Yes.
the jargon of indemnity.
Indemnification.
This we call them non-indemnity policies.
Yes.
Because if you cut my finger here, you can never return it. Yeah? But if it is a vehicle, we are saying the right has been broken, I can come and fix that right.
Yes.
But the finger, you can never replace it. Okay, I will be treated, but it can never be replaced.
Yes.
So that is why we are saying it's not an indemnity policy.
Non-indemnity policies. You see why people need to go to www.understandinsurance.co.ke. Yes.
Iko hapo chini.
Yes.
Please make sure you read. And that's important to note that unlike a vehicle, this has no value. You cannot say it's 1 million. And even when it has, you can't replace. Yeah, so for that matter, then there's no over-insuring in that space of health insurance. You cannot be over-insured. Okay, Bwana Kiama, what happens if someone goes to hospital and the bill exceeds the limit? We've said you have a limit of 1 million or 200,000 and the bill is exceeding that limit. What happens?
Yeah, people have gotten into that unfortunate situation where you go into a hospital, you are expecting, for example, the procedure that you are going to go through will cost you like 50,000, and all of a sudden you find that procedure has developed something else, and the bill is like 400,000, and your cover is 300,000. So that is an unfortunate situation because you will still have to settle the 100,000 because you have already exceeded your cover of 300,000 and there is 100,000 shillings on top. So it means then you have to clear that. You have to pay that from your pocket, the 100,000. It's a very unfortunate situation, and people have found themselves there sometime. But it is better than none.
Yes.
If you didn't have that, then you'd have paid the 400 from your pocket.
Yes.
What about ex gratia? We hear this term a lot. What is ex gratia?
That is a very important term in insurance.
Yes.
And this is where we say, do you have the heart of the person? Or can you have that human heart? This is a person. This person has been injured, and they are hospitalized, and we have had a wrong relationship in business, and then their bill has now reached the 400, and their limit is 300.
Yes.
So are you able to pay this, even if it is not payable?
Yes.
Are you able to put in a business consideration and make this payment of the 100,000? Because this person will rot in hospital, they are not able to raise that money. So that is a kind of consideration that you see insurance companies making to make sure that then that human face is there, that business relationship is considered, and then you're able to move on with life without problems.
Yes, but this is mainly extended to corporate covers, I'm assuming, because can I seek such for my client who's on an individual policy? I need maybe.
Not? Why
Yes.
not? I have been insured. Why not? I have been insured with XYZ for 20 years.
Yes.
I have not been making claims. This is the time I'm making a claim.
Yes.
And this is something I did not expect.
Yes.
But depending on how you present your case,
Yes.
this is treated basically on a case-by-case basis.
Yes.
Because we are
Yes.
saying it is something that, and you'll find most of the companies saying we'll get approval from directors or something, because this is an expense that we are not supposed to pay, remember?
Wow.
And you have to justify this
This is
to
nice.
the owners of the company that I want to pay a claim that I should have actually not paid.
Yes.
And no, they're in the business of paying only the claims that are payable.
Yes.
So it will require some kind of approvals before
Yes.
you get that.
Hey, I am learning. And now, still on that, please tell us what sub-limits are. Because in medical insurance, if you buy medical insurance or blindly, first come, sign, we get started. There's a shocker that a lot of Kenyans get when they realize, wait, my 10 million cover, I'm
not
only
10
being
million.
told I'm covered up to the tune of 3 million for XYZ. What are these sub-limits? How would you explain it to our viewer? What are these sub-limits?
Now, sub-limit is is a limit, is a lower limit within that, which is within that limit you are talking about. So for example, if you have a cover for 5 million,
Yes.
then you'll find some conditions, as we were talking about, I will say, like, for example, pre-existing conditions.
Yes.
In hospitalization, I will cover you up to this limit. Because I know if I were to cover you for the full limit, you are likely to, it's something that you are likely to exhaust almost immediately, and
Yes.
then you remain without cover. You get? So those sub-limits are normally put based on some statistics, or some, what I call the actuarial arithmetics. Yeah, I will come and say, for example, cesarean. For example, I will come and say I will cover cesarean up to a limit of 500,000. This is within now the sub limit. You have you have the overall limit of 5 million, but then I'm putting in some sub limits to cushion the insurance company, just in case those numbers go high or something goes wrong.
Yes.
Based on something that we knew, or some pre-existing condition.
Yes.
So this is just trying to caution the insurance company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's always good to note that on your overall benefit, your 5 million, your 2 million, your 1M, your 10M, in the unfortunate event, maybe that what has led to your hospitalization is an accident, then you're actually covered to the full benefit. If it is what we call an acute illness, this illness yenye iko na tiba. I went to hospital because of malaria. You get?
TB.
And malaria or TB,
pneumonia,
you are being treated.
typhoid.
Yes, iko na tiba. You get? There are some illnesses when you go to hospital, they are pretty much just being managed.
Yeah.
Like diabetes, like high blood pressure. If that is what has taken you to be hospitalized, that condition is just being managed. But if it's an acute illness, yenye iko na tiba, then you're also covered to the full tune of the benefit. And one sublimit that always, I always notice when I'm explaining to a client, they get shocked, is that there's actually a last expense, sort of like sub-limit of benefit within the inpatient cover.
Yeah.
Because I noted a lot of Kenyans do not know there's a last expense benefit. So even if your loved one had medical insurance and maybe they pass away, you notice a lot of people do not know that they should actually claim, or they should check with their insurer if that benefit is valid. Yes.
Last
Very
expense
important.
is funeral cover for our viewers.
Oh.
Huku ni jargon. Funeral cover
Burial
or
expenses.
burial expenses.
Yes.
Most medical insurance covers have a benefit or a rider
Yes.
for funeral. So in case the person who had taken up the cover passes on, then there's a benefit over and above what was paid to the hospital.
Yes.
And the claims process is actually not tedious.
Yeah.
You
Very
just need to
seamless.
produce in the burial permit,
Yes.
and wow, the money is paid.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
It's something that the people need to look for.
Yes.
And having that rider in your policy
Yes.
is not an expensive deal.
Yes.
It's a very, very simple deal.
Yes.
The charges are very low.
Yeah.
It's important also to have that rider in your policy.
Yeah.
There are policies that you find they don't have, or they have lower limits.
Yes.
So if you want to increase the limit, then you'll be charged some premium for that increased limit. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. I want us to do something we've not done. I don't think we've done this. Can we want to all share an experience that we've had from a medical cover perspective, where the cover has come through for a relative, a friend, whoever.
Yes.
We can start with you, Bwana Kiama, as we go this way.
Yes.
And just an experience, because I feel like some of these things can sound very far-fetched, but they're real and they're with us.
Yes.
Well, I can give two cases that were very, very moving. I had a certain lady who there was a certain company that had teamed up with a micro finance institution, and they were giving this small covers for the basic covers. So that lady was admitted in Kijabi Hospital, and when they were paying 500 shillings only.
Wow.
The other cover, the other money was being paid by the microfinance institution. So when she got sick and she went to Kijabi Hospital, when the bill was paid, she was like, "Oh, I thought I need to bring everybody else in this cover." Yeah. And that was very moving, because it was I paid only 500 shillings.
Yes.
And now my bill is fully settled at Kijana. You know, she was trying to wonder, to tell people who will help me out, blah, blah, can you go and organize Harambes? Nothing.
Yes.
Bill fully paid, and she was
Yes.
very, very happy.
Wow.
Wow. That was scenario 1. You had
That's
2.
that's
Yes.
scenario 1.
Yes.
Scenario 2, myself, I also got admitted sometime. I injured my tendon on the leg. I was actually I was learning in school. I had not learned for some time. So when
Yes.
I went into running,
Yes.
you know, we were doing the 100 meters, ile ya baton, and I was doing the last leg.
Yes.
You know, people had entrusted me to win the race.
To finish.
Yeah, to be the finish.
You are the boss.
So I had to do everything possible.
Yes.
Yeah. And when I picked the baton, I really moved, and then one of the tendon tap. Then I said, no, I'm soldiering on. Then after some few meters, the other one was on. Well, when I came out of that race, okay, I almost won.
Did you win?
I almost
Almost
I
won.
almost won, because I couldn't a few meters from the finish.
Yeah. Poland.
Sorry.
But my son was very happy, because he saw like
That he has
really do
speed.
it.
Yes.
Oh, so this is recent. I thought it was when you were in school.
No.
It's recent. It was in my son's school.
Oh.
Yeah, parents.
Oh, okay.
The parents were now doing the
Oh,
we are
nice.
showcasing what we can do.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
when I was taken to hospital, I didn't know that it would cost me that much, and the bill was like, that was 1990. What? That was that was 2008.
Yes.
2008, and the bill was 525,000. And my cover came in through, and I was like, oh boy.
Yes. Value of insurance. Lovely. I like to say that when I started this business, medical insurance was definitely my first love. And I remember when I was a very new agent, I was along Kiambu Road, and this young mom, she had taken a standalone cover for her child. She was based in Mombasa, and she calls me and tells me they were now just being discharged from hospital. I did not even know that they had been admitted. So when they went to hospital, because she was well versed with how now the cover is working, they were just admitted. Okay, so now she called me at the point of discharge, and she was so happy on the phone, because I remember that particular cover had costed her 25,497 for the whole year. She could not believe that their bill, which was about 300,000, had been paid in full, and the only thing she paid for was the thermometer, because she decided to carry the one they were using while in hospital. She decided to carry that home with her, so that was not going to be billed with the rest. But everything, for all the days they had been in hospital, even for herself, you know, I think she was so shocked that that standalone cover for 25K had even catered for her stay in hospital, because it had what we call lodger fees, whereas with a small child, you can accompany a child in hospital. You'll literally be given a bed, or at least like a convertible seat where you can sleep. You'll eat food like you'll be fed. You will bathe in the hospital, and all that was being catered for by that cover that she had taken for her young daughter. So I think that day, you know, the way sometimes insurance can be hard, mnachomeka, you are doing up and down. Back in the day, you don't even have a vehicle. You are literally, you know, that hustling new agent in the business. You're looking maybe even, like you can feel life imekuchapa, but you listen to such a testimonial. You're like, yes, this is why I do what I do.
Wow.
Like you can feel the genuine joy and awe from that girl. She's wondering, you mean 25K is what has saved me this much?
300 plus.
That is always my go-to story when it comes to impact of medical insurance.
Good. In my case, I have had quite a number of stories. Not very many. I've worked in the medical insurance business for 10 years plus, so
Yes.
they are varied.
Yes.
But one that really comes to mind is a friend of mine whose grandfather was insured with the company I was working for at the time. During COVID, unfortunately, the mzee got COVID, and noting he was already old and had other issues, He was admitted for a while in ICU and eventually passed on.
Oh.
So for me, of course, it was sad. It was very sad that that happened. But the joy was that the client, the bill was quite high. And so the company paid about 75,000. The insurance company paid about 75% of the total bill, and there was this 25% that was still huge for the family. And because this mzee had been insured for a while, we go back to the ex gratia conversation.
Wow.
So I presented the case to the company and to my bosses and to the management, and we said, this person has been with us for a while. It's an old man, unfortunately has succumbed, and there's a bill left in the hospital. And because of that relationship, we were able to settle the other
25%.
Now, the thing is, that family, to date, has not stopped thanking me for the effort that, and it wasn't me really, it was a company, but has never stopped thanking, because yes, the person has passed, so yeah, it has taken care of so much. Yes, the person has passed, but you went over and above. So sometimes the result might not come out the way we want. It might not end up in you being healed. It might end up in you being wheeled off, sadly. But the comfort that the remaining family members have because you secured yourself.
Wow.
So that story for me always hits.
Wow. So why haven't you taught me about ex gratia up to this? You know, and I hope my fellow agents too, we've learned something, especially for those of us who didn't know about ex gratia. I think that is wonderful to hear. I have heard of ex gratia on the corporate side, corporate medical business, where literally you find it's the employer who decides to possibly even go into their pocket and foot whatever maybe, you know, is left in the bill. But to see that this can happen on the individual side,
it happens.
It's amazing. Insurance pays. That is the human side, the human face of the insurance business.
It does. And the number of friendships that I have formed based off such situations where what I promised was delivered. It's amazing.
And we also give you your flowers, by the way, Mali. I know you've said it's the insurer that did this, but you are also at the right place with the right information and was brave enough and felt the need to actually make that request to the insurance company and present a solid request and case for that. Good job.
Thank you. And we have to mention this. Health in particular comes at a very emotive time. Unlike motor insurance and the likes, when it comes to health insurance, it's a matter sometimes of life and death. It's very emotive. And so this is not the time to start wondering, where do I look for money? The hospital is saying I need a deposit. This is the time to have some level of comfort, particularly when it comes to finances, and hence why medical insurance is very, very key. Very important. Whatever form it is, even if you start with the SHA model, going into the private insurance, please take up something. Bwana Kiama, last question for me. If you had one myth about medical insurance that you could bust forever, which one would it be?
That would be, there is this myth that people have, like if I have medical insurance, it's like an ATM card. So if I don't draw from my ATM, and the money will not, unlike the ATM, that the money will be there, this one for medical disappears. So I must make sure that I withdraw so that then before it disappears. That is a myth that people have. When you are healthy, when you are strong, and when you are not sick, you should be happy and thank your God that you are not lodging a claim to be compensated in medical. Rather than when you are sick in and out of hospital, you are making so many claims, and then we are coming in here to say we are actually going to load your premium because you are making so many claims. So people should actually be happy when they are not making any claims at all. You thank God and say, I have a cover limit of 50,000. I have not touched it. Just thank your God for that.
It's been a good year.
It's been a good year. So they start thinking that people have that I need to spend because I have
withdraw from my ATM.
No.
Yes.
People should just make sure, you should be very happy that
Yes.
you are not lodging any claim.
Okay, love that. Now, Mr. Kiama, now my last question. You've been in this business and industry for many years, 3 decades plus now. Within the medical insurance field, what would you say maybe are the 2 biggest developments that you've seen, happening within medical insurance?
Medical insurance, let me say, medical insurance has come from very, very far in terms of the changes that have been there in the industry.
Yeah.
If you would remember, people used to get medical insurance, and then we would have a list of the people who are insured, and then we would send that list to the hospital. And then when you go to the hospital, you would get that person, now the person at the reception, asking you, okay, you said insurance, okay, which insurance? Insurance XYZ. Then they will go into the drawer and pull out a list.
Really?
You said your name is William Kiama. They check through the list, and then they say, no, your name is not there. And kumbe wameipita tu hapo. So you are like, let me try and look for my insurance company.
Yes.
And that time there were you don't have the mobile phones.
Yeah.
So where do you call them from?
Yes.
So you go there, and then you go back to your insurance company. Then you go, they check, and they say, okay, no, this person is in the list. Yeah. So they go and tell them you are number 57 in that list. You see, and you are addressing a sick person.
Exactly.
So those kind of inconveniences were there. So we have seen that develop now. We came into photo cards. Photo cards, it is a card that now
Has
you can
your
say,
feet.
I have a card, it has a photo. So we just come and say, okay, I have this card and I have my ID. Bring the 2, I compare, and I see, okay, this is now the William Kiama. All right, good. Then you can proceed to the next level. And then we saw a lot of fraud coming through, because the photo card, you cannot be able to identify this person as long as you have been identified at the front desk, then that is it. Now you go through the other areas, you go through smoothly. A lot of fraud again came in.
Yes.
Then now we went into this, what we are calling?
Biometric?
The biometric.
Yes.
The biometric card.
Yes.
I think that came to sort out a lot of problems, because
Yes.
even when you go to a facility, you'll see it's consultation, you swipe your card, you have to put in your finger. You go to the pharmacy, you need to put in your finger. So that has reduced the level of fraud that used to exist. But that, I would say that medical insurance has actually come from far.
Wow.
Because those kind of experiences, you go, you don't get service at all, and it is because somebody did not want. You are going to hospital and you are saying you are paying via insurance, and then somebody is like, weka hapo kando, nitakuita. When I get somebody to look through the list to see whether your name is there. So nitakuita tu baadaye. You are there 1 hour down the line, you have not been called because your name has not been seen, or the person who was checking your name, whether your name is there, had been interrupted. So we have actually come from far. And I think then where we are going now with the digital superhighway, I think it will be amazing when we get there.
Wow. That's the first time I've heard of that. Did you ever?
The papers? No, I didn't know that. I know Excel sheets. Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing. We've come from far.
The Excel sheets were just a development now from the new papers. So that then the Excel sheet, from the Excel sheet, you'll be able to search and say, okay, William, can I see, and can you give me the people called William? Then from there you are able to pick, now this is the one I'm looking for.
Okay. So tumetoka mbali and we are tunaenda mbali. We are going further.
I'm actually proud that to where we are now headed.
Yes.
If we are able to actualize that, then things will be very easy.
Yeah. We are going far. In fact, now medical covers are going to be accessible to all ages.
Yes.
Yes. The companies that are now offering medical cover across all ages. There's no limitation of the age anymore. Those exclusions that you're talking about, the things like self-injury, suicide, and the likes are coming to be covered. Fertility treatment being covered. Issues like supplements, again, all these things that were not covered before are being covered. And what is making these things happen is because the population is becoming more aware and we're getting more numbers. We said insurance is a game of numbers. If we have volumes, then we can be able to cater for these people. And so the more we are, the more Kenyans take up insurance, health insurance in particular, then we're able to cut out a lot of these exclusions and even bring the cost further down.
I like that bit you have introduced about the seniors, because previously insurance companies used to fear seniors.
Yes.
When you get to the age of, if you are in a policy and you start getting to the age of 65, then we start saying putting you aside. You are not
Yes.
insurable.
Yes.
When you went to an insurance company, you are new from age 60, then they would say, no, we are not picking you up.
Yes.
Now the industry has developed some policies for the seniors.
Yes.
You go and say, I'm a senior citizen, I have come in for a cover,
Yes.
and it is available.
Yes.
The company that started that, then people started fearing like this company like is likely to close. They are
Yes.
taking seniors,
Yes.
likely to close, and then we saw they didn't close.
Yes.
So many companies now adopted that, and now we have covers for the seniors all over.
Yes.
Yeah.
100 years old, you got covered.
Oh, I think it's fantastic. You can really feel the developments. There's a time we were even saying, just a few years ago, we'd say beyond 79, you can't get a cover. Right now, even at the point of, at the age of entry, even 84, you will get a cover. So I think we are seeing real-time developments in the market. I remember a few years ago, a gentleman asking me if they could cover. The first time I ever learned what octogenarian means. So they asked me, can you cover my mom? She's an octogenarian. So I had to go to my dictionary, like I think Google or something to check. And at the time, we didn't have a solution in the market. And right now, we actually have the solution. So I think there's good developments happening.
Good developments.
Yes.
We cannot exhaust this, but we are grateful, Mr. Kiama, for coming on the show.
Yes.
I do think there is so much more to tackle on this space. We've started. Now you have the definitions. Please go to
www.understandinsurance.co.ke.
Yes.
Hiko hapa chini.
Please, watu wangu nisaidie muandike hapo so that it's very clear. So that you can
Yes.
go and get a lot of the definitions that we've said, the exclusions, the pre-existing conditions. What is it? Let's argue with facts. going
Yes.
forward.
And an informed Kenyan is able to make wise choices, wise decisions. You will be able to pick the best medical policy for yourself. You'll even just get to a point. Remember, this information is free. Whatever Aki has put for us, this is the Association of Kenya Insurers. This sort of like encyclopedia of insurance, insurance knowledge is free, and it's there for every Kenyan and everyone, by the way, across even beyond our borders. So let's go to the website. Let's learn as much as you can, so that when it comes now to sitting down with your agent, you are able to even ask the right questions and pick the right solution for you.
Thank you. That marks our time here at the Association of Kenya Insurers. We have been learning a lot, and we're grateful that you've tuned in to the show. I've been your host, Male Mtoto Mwanza.
And I'm Charlene Kimara. You may call me Mama Bima Kenya.
And I'm William Kiama from the Association of Kenya Insurers.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. And until next time,
Stay insured.